Hi, and welcome back to the Percussion Performance Technique video series. In this video, we'll look at technique for playing keyboard instruments in percussion, such as the bells, the xylophone, and the marimba. We have a xylophone with us today, and as I'll explain later, each keyboard instrument will require a slightly different selection of mallets to play the instrument. We'll want to start with posture. One thing that I see often from students is incorrect posture when playing. So this prohibits them from moving freely around the keyboard, and the accuracy of the notes as well as the sound from the instrument are compromised because of bad posture. So correct posture when playing a keyboard instrument such as this is to stand directly in front of your playing area. As you perform on areas that are out of reach, you'll want to be able to move to your right side or the left side accordingly. You can reach out with your body to the left and right, but it's a lot easier to be in front of the area that you're playing at all times. I also see lots of slouching when playing. Keeping a good posture planted solidly on both feet will ensure that you're ready to move to the left or the right when you need to. Now let's look at proper playing areas of the keyboard. Generally, you'll want to play at or very near the center of each bar. Playing near the center of each bar gives you the most resonance from each bar, and therefore you'll get the best sound from the instrument you're playing on. The other alternative for playing at or near the center of each bar is to play on the very edge of the bar. This is necessary when you're playing a rhythm or a passage in the music that requires a little more speed and agility, and playing in the center of a bar just isn't feasible. For example, if I'm playing a fast chromatic passage, something like this, it's possible, but it's a lot easier to do and probably a lot better on my accuracy if I play on the edges of my sharps and flats. Notice that the sound I get from the edge is very comparable to that of the center. So here's the B flat on the edge and at the center. These are pretty close in sound to each other. One thing I do want to avoid, though, at all times is to play on the node of the instrument. Now, the node is the area of each bar where the string runs through the bar. So there's basically a hole drilled through the key, and the string on top and the string on bottom runs through the key to suspend it on the keyboard. If I play on the node, I get a sound like this, versus center and edge. So the node is somewhere that I definitely want to avoid, especially if I am playing notes in the center, and if I hit a node on my sharp or flat notes, it's just not a good sound. So the nodes sound pretty bad, so that's definitely one thing you want to avoid. So always play at or near the center of the keys or on the very edge of the keys for the sharps and the flats. Mallet selection for your keyboard instrument is very important as well. For this xylophone, I'm using a mallet that has a hard rubber head so that I can get a good sound from my low notes as well as my high notes. So I get all my notes to speak with this mallet. If I use something softer, let's say a yarn mallet, it might sound okay on the low end, but on the high end of the keyboard, the notes will be very hard to speak. It'll be very hard to hear those notes. For bells, you also want to use a hard mallet such as a nylon ball, and for marimba, you want to use yarn-covered mallets. You'll find lots of different dynamic levels for the music that you'll play. Like many other percussion instruments, the amount of space you have between your mallets or sticks and the instrument itself goes along with the dynamic level that you need to play at. So for notes marked at piano or very soft dynamic, of course my heights or the space between my mallets and the instrument will be very low. Mezzo forte or medium volume, I'll raise my mallet slightly so I'll have a little more space between my mallets and the keyboard. And for forte, of course, my mallets would come up even higher. The grip for mallets is very similar to snare drum sticks in that I have a fulcrum, my thumb and first finger directly across from each other, and my back fingers aren't gripping onto the mallet at all. They're just allowing the mallet to move freely. In playing position, I have my mallets right above the keys that I'm ready to play, but I don't set my mallets down on the keys. They're ready to play just above the keys. Remember to use good wrist motion when you play, and always be in front of the area that you're playing. Some of the skills you'll want to know early on in keyboard percussion are your major scales, such as C, F, B flat, E flat, A flat, and so on. Being familiar with your major scales will make it much easier to play in any key in the music that you play. Thank you for watching. That's it for our Keyboard Fundamentals video.